What if I told you that it's going to be a lot easier to install custom fonts to your Squarespace website? I developed a tool called Custom Font Wiz to make this task a breeze. This will be such a huge time and energy saver, whether you're customizing your own Squarespace website or you're a designer building sites for clients. Also, if you are selling Squarespace templates, you can now easily point them to this tutorial to make it easy for your customers to customize their templates. Squarespace has a wide selection of fonts that's available via the Site Style panel, but there might also be fonts from great foundries which you wish to install to your Squarespace website. What makes this tool magical is that it makes adding fonts to Squarespace incredibly easy and fast. All we need to do is fill out this form with the font details like font path, font name. Then we may choose to apply the font to the heading, the body, or the buttons, and just choose the applicable font format. Whatever code generated to the right panel, we can easily copy and paste to the custom CSS panel of our site, and upon saving, our custom font will now be applied throughout the instances of the element that we chose. I assure you that this is the most efficient method out there, because if we wish to use the same custom font to any other element of the website, all we need to do is head to the Assign Styles panel of our Squarespace site and choose the element where we wish to apply the custom font. For example, if we wish this custom font to be applied to the site navigation, I can choose the site navigation option, and under Style, if I choose the heading option, then our custom font will also be applied to this element. You've probably watched countless tutorials on adding custom fonts, but these existing methods require writing a new code if you wish to install a custom font to specific elements. That means you'd have to spend time looking for the code and writing the code for every element where you wish to apply the custom font. This is why I developed this tool to make this process a lot easier. Now allow me to walk you through the step-by-step process of how to use this tool. You'll access this page by clicking the link on the description box below. Our first step is to fill out these details. The first field is where we'll supply the font file path, which is the link to our font file. But make sure that before you use any custom fonts on your live Squarespace websites, make sure that you have the proper web license to use it. Note that the web license may be different from the desktop license. So if you obtained the desktop license, make sure that you also pay for the web license. In some cases, font foundries also require annual payment to the font web licenses, so please make sure you check the fine prints of any font that you use for your website. There are also high quality free fonts like these ones from Colectivo Typefaces, and all they ask is for us to credit them when we use the fonts on our projects. There might be special cases though where this free license isn't applicable. So for every font that you use on websites, please make sure that you read the dedicated licensing pages. For example, I'd like to use this one called Messapia by Luca Marsano. When we click this download button, the downloaded folder contains desktop and web fonts. For our use case, we need the web font, and for web use, the most recommended format is woff 2. But if it isn't available, then we can use woff. The font format OTF or OpenType is typically used for desktop. But then there are fonts, especially those which are from independent foundries or from Creative Market, that are only available via this OpenType format. And while the woff 2 and woff formats are more optimized for web use, we can still use the OTF formats, but then please make sure that you have the web license to use the font. Once we have the font file and the proper web license, we may now proceed with generating the file path. To do so, we go to the CSS panel. We can click the search icon and start searching for CSS. Click this Custom CSS option. Should there be existing code in this panel, for example, this one, all we need to do is hit Command arrow down on our keyboard or Control arrow down if you are using a Windows computer. So that's Command arrow down. And once we're at the very last line of the code, we hit Enter thrice. And this is where we can safely add any additional codes. Don't worry about disrupting any codes because we will not save any changes that we'll do in this panel. We'll hit cancel in a while. We just need to upload the font via this custom files field. So if I click this custom files drop down, we will be prompted to add any images or fonts. We may use this plus button or we may simply drag and drop the woff2 file. And as I mentioned, because the woff2 file is the most optimized for web, I am using it over the woff version. Once the font is uploaded, we may again place our cursor at the very end of our custom CSS panel. And once we click the custom files again and click the woff2 file that we just uploaded, notice how this custom file path is generated. All we need to do is copy this link to our clipboard or our notes by hitting Command C or Control C, and then make sure we hit the cancel button such that any of these changes will not be saved. The link that we copied is what we'll paste to our font file path field, and then we can assign any font name. For this one, our font name is Misapia, and the element where I wish to apply this font is the heading. And the font format right here is woff2. Once I click this generate code button, it will supply us with the code that we can copy and paste to the custom CSS panel of our site. So notice as soon as I paste this set of codes, then the heading instances are changed to our new font style, which is Misapia. It's that fast and easy, and we just need to repeat the same process if we wish to have custom fonts for our paragraphs and buttons. For example, if I wish to use this custom font as our paragraph and button font, I generated the font file path once again and assign the font name, and then this time I'd like to apply it to the body or the paragraph, and then again, our font format is woff2, so when I generate the code and copy this, if I paste it right here, notice that our paragraph fonts are now using the absence font. I try to minimize the number of custom fonts for each website because each font contributes to the loading time. So in this case, I'd like to use the body font as my button font as well. So I'll use the absence font as the button font as well. And when I hit generate code, this will now allow me to apply this custom font, absence, to our buttons. And this font will now be applied to all button styles, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Here's an important note: if your custom CSS panel has existing codes, it's best for us to add the codes generated by the FontWiz tool to the very first lines of the panel. To do that, we need to place our cursor at the very beginning and then hit the return key or the enter key multiple times. 20 should be enough. And then whatever code is generated by FontWiz, we simply paste it right here at the very start. And if we need to add more FontWiz codes, simply hit enter, and again, these will be added at the start before any of the existing codes. We'll then save these changes and notice that our custom fonts are now applied. And as I mentioned, if we wish to access these custom fonts, all we need to do is head to our site styles panel, and under fonts, we click assign styles. We may choose the element where we wish to apply the custom font to. For example, if I wish the site title to adapt our custom font for the heading, I'll switch to the heading font. Notice how our Misapi font was applied. And if I want our custom font for paragraph or body to be applied, then I choose paragraph. There are so much more possibilities with regard to typography in our Squarespace sites if we just add a little bit of code magic. So for example, we may also apply a different font style within one line, such as this one. And all we need to do is hit this italicize option to apply this accent font. This is something that I'll discuss in an upcoming video, so please make sure to subscribe to our channel. It's also possible for us to apply different type system to a specific page of the site. For example, in this website, I have this type system in one page, and when I switched to another page, I applied a different type system. This is possible via code, and this is something that I discuss in detail in my signature program, Standout Squarespace. You may check out the description link below. And lastly, there is an optional step in our Custom Font Wiz tool, and that's to share and subscribe. I highly encourage you to share this tool with other Squarespace business owners and designers if you find this helpful. And this tool is actually one of the many new resources that we are preparing for the revamp of our Selling Squarespace Templates course. This course was originally available only inside the Standout Squarespace program, but it will now be available as a standalone course. So if you'd like to join the waitlist, simply click this button and fill out the details. I hope you find the Custom Font Wiz tool handy, and if you have suggestions on how to improve this tool, please comment down below. And to receive updates on future resources on Squarespace, Shopify, and running your design business, please subscribe to this channel.